What are isotopes? Objectives. Explain what an isotope of an element is. Compare the three isotopes of hydrogen. Key term. Isotope. Isotope. Atom of an element with the same number of protons as the other atoms, but with a different number of neutrons. Different atomic masses. The atomic number of an element never changes. All atoms of the same element have the same number of protons in their nuclei. However, all atoms of the same element may not have the same number of neutrons in their nuclei. This means that atoms of the same element can have different atomic masses. The difference in atomic mass is caused by a different number of neutrons in the nuclei of the atoms of an element. State what causes the atoms of the same element to have different atomic masses. Isotopes. Atoms of the same element that have different atomic masses are called isotopes. Isotopes are atoms of an element that have the same number of protons as the other atoms of the element, but a different number of neutrons in their nuclei. Although the number of neutrons in the atoms of an element may be different, atoms are always identified by the number of protons. For example, there are several isotopes of the element copper. One of the isotopes has 36 neutrons in the nuclei of its atoms. Another isotope has 34 neutrons in the nuclei of its atoms. Because both of these isotopes have 29 protons in the nuclei of their atoms, they are both atoms of the element copper. 2. Define. What is an isotope? Atomic mass. The atomic mass for each element can be found on the periodic table. The atomic mass given for each element is actually an average of the atomic masses of all of the isotopes of that element. This explains why an atom's atomic mass is not a whole number. 3. Explain. What does the atomic mass for each element actually represent? Isotopes of common elements. Hydrogen has 3 isotopes. The 3 isotopes of hydrogen are known as protium, prot-ium, deuterium, deuterium, and tritium, trit-ium. These isotopes of hydrogen are also called hydrogen 1, H1, hydrogen 2, H2, and hydrogen 3, H3. The numbers 1, 2, and 3 represent the mass numbers of each of the isotopes. An atom of protium, H1, has only 1 proton and no neutrons in its nucleus. An atom of deuterium, H2, has 1 proton and 1 neutron. An atom of tritium, H3, has 1 proton and 2 neutrons. All elements have 2 or more isotopes. Carbon-12 and carbon-14 are 2 isotopes of the element carbon. These isotopes are also written as C12 and C14. Boron-10, B10, and boron-11, B11, are isotopes of the element boron. 2 important isotopes of uranium are uranium-235, U-235, and uranium-238, U-238. 4. List. What are the 3 isotopes of hydrogen called? Checking concepts. 1. What causes some atoms of the same element to have different atomic masses? 2. In the periodic table, where can the atomic mass of an element be found? 3. What identifies an atom of an element? 4. How many neutrons are there in an atom of protium, deuterium, tritium? Thinking critically. 5. Explain. Why is the atomic mass of an element not a whole number? 6. Calculate. The atomic number of carbon is 6. How many protons and neutrons are there in an atom of carbon 12? Of carbon 14? Analyze. The mass number of oxygen is 16. Its atomic mass is 15.999. The atomic number of oxygen is 8. Which of the following statements about the isotopes of oxygen are true? Why? A. All of the isotopes have 8 neutrons. B. All of the isotopes have 8 neutrons or more. C. Some of the isotopes have fewer than 8 neutrons. D. All of the isotopes have fewer than 8 neutrons. Interpreting visuals. Use figure 333 to answer the following questions. 8. Analyze. Which isotope contains 2 neutrons in its nucleus? 9. Identify. Which atom has the largest nucleus? 10. Infer. What is the atomic number of each isotope? 11. Infer. Which isotope has the smallest atomic mass?